Hi Taurus, welcome to your June 2018 tarot reading. It's Raina here, and I want to thank the person who noticed that I hadn't posted one of these for your sign. And I really believe that I actually recorded a reading for it. It's possible that I just did not upload it and now don't know where the file is. But in any case, thank you to that person. And I'm just shuffling the cards. I'm going to be doing a different spread than I normally do. And this is simply, it just kind of came to me when I did the first reading of this sort. And I think that's always wise, is to kind of mix things up a little bit so that you don't get in a rut, because I do have Taurus rising and I do tend to do things over and over again that are the same. The first card I picked is Taurus's card, Hierophant. So, okay, well, two cards came out. I guess I'm going to pick those. Now, I just also did the end of May Taurus reading, and I got the Nine of Cups in the challenged position. Here, it's in the upright position. And actually, in the challenged position for that particular reading, it could even be the upright position because it can still be indulgence. So I found that very interesting because I just recorded that. So it may be a continuation of the end of May, in other words. Sorry if these are a little lopsided, but the way my camera setup makes it that way. So I'm gonna, the bottom of the deck, Page of Wands. There was another card I got in the whatchamacallit, the end of May. So the end of May one you might want to watch first if you're tuning in. Anyway, I just want to say, based on that end of May, maybe there's a Leo person that you are dealing with, that you're finding very exciting to be around. Because we're getting more and more of these fire wands cards, and I got a bunch of them for the end of May, and then we have the Sun, which is connected to Leo, which is a fire sign. So the card that is the focus is the Page of Wands. This can be exciting news that you hear that really makes your heart sing, because perhaps it's been something that you have wanted to hear. And obviously this can run the gamut. It can be a relationship that I was even thinking that was on the rocks, because we have here like almost like a reunion with someone. But it can be with the Two of Cups, it can also be a proposal or an agreement between two people that they're going to, get married or move in together, whatever the commitment phase means to you. So anyway, that there's something exciting that you'll hear, possibly. And I've also done the astrology for Taurus for June. I believe I did that for Taurus. Yeah, I think I did. And the third house is communication, and that's, for you, that's Cancer. So Cancer is definitely featured in June. I think Venus goes into your third house, so that could be some kind of maybe you meet somebody on the internet, something like that, or just like I said with reunion, somebody that you hear somebody is finally single that was your high school sweetheart or what have you. So anyway, let's get into this, and these top row cards are past influences. So I'm just going to take them one by one. I didn't, take note of how I the sequence. It doesn't matter because they're all going to be about the same thing. The Hierophant is your card. This card is about tradition, and it's a marriage card. So it could be that these are the influences coming into June, by the way. It could be that that's something that you are tossing around in your head. And with the late May reading, I got the feeling that some people are even escaping or have ended a long-term relationship, like a marriage. So maybe you are still thinking about the aftermath, you know, of like, did I do the right thing? Is this proper? Even like the religious implications, if you belong to a church that frowns upon divorce or what have you. It can also be for people who are in job situations that you are working in groups. Maybe you're in a corporate environment where you do a lot of networking, and you have to kind of conform to the expectations of the company. And that may or may not be acceptable to you. I think a lot of Taurians are, you know, fairly compliant and willing to fit in to that kind of thing. But you may feel that it's phony. And I know that there are a lot of Taurus people that don't like people who are phony, or situations that are artificial. And then we have the Three of Wands, and this goes along with the end of May reading, which was talking about your possible own business. This is an entrepreneurial card. So you may be thinking about this, and that can even be a card too of traveling and expanding an enterprise. But you have here the Five of Swords, and this is a card of treachery. So examples could be perhaps you want to leave a corporate environment to work for yourself, but you tell a coworker about it, and then they tell the boss. And you get screwed because they gave away your plans, and then maybe they're going to do something that prevents you from getting exit benefits or what have you. They're going to, you know, mess with you in that sense. So maybe you trusted the wrong person at work. Since I'm telling you ahead of time, maybe you won't do that. Also, if this is some kind of a romance situation, you may have fallen in love with somebody who's married, and you got out of your marriage, and they're not getting out of their marriage. So they pulled a fast one on you. And now you're dealing with that, those three parties. The number 3 coming up could indicate that. So that may be what you're dealing with coming into June in some way. Let's look at the actual June cards. The Ace of Cups, well, that's great for love. This is an offer of love. Or a new beginning in a relationship with somebody, possibly of a water element. Now, remember, I said Leo, or maybe other fire signs are Sagittarius and Aries. But remember that it doesn't have to be the sun sign. It just, I would say it just has to be that sense. It could be what is being generated in the relationship. Like you are feeling a lot of passion. Sometimes that's sexual energy. So with the cups, we're talking more about lovey-dovey romantic. With the Ace of Wands, we're talking about sexual energy. But the fact that they're both together means that you have the best of both worlds. So that's really exciting, you know, for a romantic situation. And it could also be for a business situation where this is like your heart's desire, but it's also something that you feel is giving you a new lease on life. Maybe you were stuck in a job that really was hard to cope with, because it was just you know, eating away at you and stressing you out. And now you feel like you're starting to youth, you know, instead of age, you're youthing. And you're feeling more alive than ever. I think fire energy is feeling alive. And then we have the Two of Cups. So either like committing to someone, or it could be that you are possibly reuniting with somebody from your past. And maybe even distant past. And perhaps there was somebody from long ago that you always wanted to be with, but they were always married. And so that could be something that is very exciting. If this is a business situation, you may decide to partner up with somebody that you get along with very well. Okay, well, this is an interesting two cards that came out at the same time. The Nine of Cups and the Ten of Swords. And the Nine of Cups is such a positive card about wish fulfillment. So, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, getting what you want. But, you know, there's a thing in Buddhism. Be careful of what you wish for. Talking about somebody corrected me, though, because I said the Four Noble Truths about life, you know, about suffering in life and stuff like that. So I'm not going to possibly get it wrong again. But basically, there's always, with everything that is wonderful, there can also be this sense of something happening that is also, that can be upsetting. So you may get what you want, but at the same time, there's a sense of betrayal somehow. And I will refer back to that top row again with the Five of Swords. So a possibility is that you have a new job offer that is exactly what you want, but you find out that a coworker told the boss that you had plans of leaving, and they have done something to kind of lessen your little golden parachute or what have you. Or they badmouthed you. The Five of Swords can be slander. So you may have a little bit of a bitter pill to swallow along with all of this good fortune, which is fine because at least you have good fortune. And so, you know, that's a lot better than having nothing. And the Emperor card is about taking control of your life. This is associated with Aries, so I don't know if this person is an Aries that you're hot and heavy with. If this is a love situation with the Ten of Swords, it can be that you have gotten divorced and you are really smitten by somebody new, and then you find out that your ex had been cheating for 3 years before the two of you broke up. So you're happy, but you find out something that kind of disappoints you that you didn't know. So again, it's not about life always being perfect, but if you feel like your life is always inching upwards, that's the most important thing. I always think about that. How sometimes you go up and then it seems like you take a step back, but then you're always going a little bit further up. And this card is connected with also authority figures. Sometimes it can be like law enforcement people or, you know, military, people in the military. But perhaps in some cases it's a judge, so it might be something with your divorce, that there's some kind of finality or something that has to be taken care of, who knows. But this may just be your feeling about yourself right now, that you are finally feeling a sense of control in your life. You may have had some changes, Taurus, that have led you to feel less than sure about things because there have been kind of like things coming out of nowhere. Uranus went into your sign at the time of the new moon in Taurus. Now, before that, when Uranus was in Aries, that was your 12th house. So that could have indicated some karmic situations that kind of came out of nowhere, and that you always had to kind of be dodging these bullets or dealing with these strange karmic situations over and over again for the last 7 years. Well, now it's going to kind of calm down, but actually it's not really calming down that much, because Uranus in your sign is going to make you a lot less like your typical self. In 7 years' time, you may be radically different in terms of the way that you look, especially because the first house can be the house of your body and things like that. But hey, you know, if it's an improvement, then that's awesome. And then the other card that we have here as the outcome is the Sun card. This is the card of love, of healing, of prosperity. It's everything good. This is a card that Leo is ruled by the Sun. This is the card of children, you know, and the 5th house that the Sun rules can be about conceiving children. But this is, you know, depicting it as romance, I think, is very apt, because that is a big one with this card, is about love. So, but you know, this is also a card about success. So if you're doing some kind of a entrepreneurial thing, that might be very successful too, Taurus. So wonderful way to end the reading with such a positive card. I hope that you enjoyed this, and I hope that this does come true for you in June. If you'd like a private reading, please click on the link below. Otherwise, have an amazing June. Bye.